fun fact about electronics: if there's not power going through them, if you get them dried out, they're pretty much fine. And we were able to get everything dried out. RJ's got a picture of his all his pedal board like underwater.
Are you okay?
Welcome to Room 6, the channel dedicated to local music, wherever it may be, and the people that make it, including my guests. And my guests today are a band that was formed in 2019 in Omaha, Nebraska, another band I found on TikTok, and this four-piece band is known for high-energy music. Their fans are called Figureheads, and they're not as cool as Public Enemy, but their hairlines are better. Their cover of Flowbot's song Handlebars is out now. Please welcome to the channel, Public Figure. Say hi, guys.
Hey, thank you.
What's up?
What's up? Right off the bat, if you want to be like Public Figure and be featured on the channel, whether reviewed, interviewed, or both, hit me up using my email address or by clicking the Room 6 social media link down below. That's where you'll see all the things I'm up to online, ways you can support the channel, like buying merch at room6.shop, and more. And what the heck, go ahead and click the like, share, and subscribe buttons. It really all does help, and I do appreciate everybody who does subscribe. Only about 80% of you are not subscribed when you're watching, so what the heck? Go ahead and ring the bell and choose none for notifications. That's fine. I get it. But in the meantime, back to you guys. Right off the bat, any plans to come to the Pacific Northwest where I'm at? Portland or Vancouver, Washington, or any of that?
Funny you should ask.
Yeah, actually. In October, Roger, you and...
Yeah, so we're going to be doing a tour kind of going up the West Coast. And we're stopping in, if we're talking about the Pacific Northwest, we're stopping in Portland and Seattle. So those dates, I guess I can bring those dates up if we'd like.
It'll be approximately, don't hold our feet to the fire too bad, but it should be October 10th through the 19th is the tour, and I believe Portland.
So we're in Portland on the October 13th and Seattle October 14th. The 11th and 12th we're in LA and then Sacramento. So kind of working our way up. And then back up and over through Utah and Idaho, Wyoming, Colorado, and then ending up back here in Omaha.
Right off the bat, I want to start with actually, the most obvious question is, why the name?
So Public Figure, actually, it's kind of a funny story. We were just like any band who just starts in a group chat, sending name ideas. What should we call ourselves? Oh, this one's meaningful. This one's not. Doesn't matter. And then one day at work, I work in marketing, was scrolling on Facebook, and anybody who makes like an artist page or like a content creator page, they get listed as a public figure on Facebook. And I shot it to the chat and was like, public figure, because that's what we want to be, right? And it stuck. That was it. And it was better than the other names that we were juggling. So that's the most important part.
What were some of the other names?
You can only say your ideas. You use anybody else, they're gonna be.
So the runner up was Finding Friends.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Not quite what we're going for.
No.
We're looking for some.
Yeah, you chose well. So
Yeah.
right on.
Yeah, it was Public Figure, and then somebody said Public Figures, and then we just decided to drop the S. Yeah.
I don't know. Public Figures could have worked as well, but
I think either are probably fine, although we're biased toward the one we
because Public
are
Figure
now
presents it more as like an idea, whereas Public Figures has it more of like a identifying characteristic of us, and we're not trying to say like we are public figures. We're trying to use public figure as the idea of a public figure and run with that as far as like the band name goes.
Gotcha.
And we dropped the S because a couple, I don't know, like 4 or 5 months later, a band called Public Figures somewhere on the East Coast.
Yes.
They started popping up, and I was like, oh, glad we got that figured out.
Yeah, it popped up in my research, and I had to check myself because I almost started like making notes of the wrong act.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Well, just remember, don't drop the L.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's actually an ongoing joke amongst us.
Yeah.
We play the L out of our music.
Dude,
Oh,
that's
no.
pretty funny. That's pretty funny.
You can use that one. That's for free.
Yeah.
Well,
Appreciate
in my house, we call them almonds instead of almonds because we knock the L out of them. Anyway, so
yeah, we get the hell out of them.
back to the interview. Back to the reason you're here. This is kind of like a standard interview question that I ask, and OG Room Sixers will know what's coming. I want to talk about your earliest musical influence, and by that I mean, do you remember a moment where you said, "I want to do that"?
Yes. At least in my case, I can specifically tell you the exact moment that I noticed music for the first time, and then the moment that I realized I wanted to play it live. So, 2-sentence version is I was I was on my bed in my house listening to Linkin Park when I was like 8, and getting really sad as though I knew what sadness was at the ripe old age of 8.
it. Right.
And I was like, wow, music is kind of really fucking cool if it can make me do this. And then the moment I realized I wanted to play was I went to my very first live show ever when I was 14. I had just bought a drum set. I went to see a ska band called Big D and the Kids Table at this absolute trash pub in Pensacola, Florida called Sluggo's. The capacity of Sluggo's is probably 70 people, and there were 100 people and a ska band in there. And
Nice.
little 14-year-old me was just like, this is the coolest fucking thing in the entire world. And I want to be able to make people feel the way that I felt. So that was it for me personally.
Yeah, I would say mine was pretty similar, except it wasn't Big D in the
Kids Table.
kids table. It was just whatever local band my dad was in. So I got to watch him play the bars, the bowling alleys from a young age, and so I kind of always knew, like, yeah, I want to be like my dad. I want to do that. But on a larger scale, as I got into high school, I was like, okay, no, I want to do what like Paramore is doing, or some of my favorite bands at that time.
What about you, RJ?
I didn't go to my first show until later on in life, so I don't think there was a moment when I was young that I was like, oh, I want to be a rock star. But I do remember my very first album. It was Insomniac by Green Day, which came out in '96, I think, before Roger was born.
Actually,
I didn't get it in '96, or unless my parents bought it for me. I
Fight
don't
nice,
remember when.
kids. Fight nice.
Yeah. But I remember that's when I was like, oh shit, I want to play guitar. This is awesome. It's all just 3-chord punk rock music. And so I got hooked to that early Green Day stuff, and then that's why I started playing guitar. But I don't know if I ever was like, I got to get on a stage until I was probably in my 20s. I think I played my first show on stage when I was 25 or something, maybe 24.
I played my first show 2 months after that show.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
terrible. I was
Yeah.
awful.
But after I played that first show, I think this when I kind of realized, ooh, this is fun. Yeah, I love this. This is great. So, but yeah.
Roger?
I think for me, I don't ever remember a single moment in my life where I didn't want to be involved with music in some degree. I mean, I can remember being 3-4 years old with my sister singing songs and stuff, and continued to do that. Around the time I was 6, my dad had got me a guitar for Christmas, and so I started taking guitar lessons. But then I wanted to play songs now, so I quit lessons and I started playing drums. And then I didn't want to take lessons for drums because I was going to want to do the same thing. So I just started playing drums and kind of teaching myself. And at that point, I was still singing. And I mean, I remember my first time on stage was in preschool. I went to a Christian preschool, and it was for I think it was a nativity kind of play or something like that. I don't remember what I was singing or what, but we were on stage, and I just remember loving it. I was like, that's so fun. And so from that moment on, I wanted to be on a stage anytime I could. So in first grade, I had one of the lead roles in our school musical. and then in third grade I tried out for the solo in our choir for our Thanksgiving thing, and every moment after that I could, I was either trying to learn a new instrument or be on stage. But it wasn't until I wasn't in a band until high school, just because I don't know, I don't really know why I didn't really mesh with anybody to the point of like getting on stage. Me and my best friend, we had written songs starting like fifth grade on, and we would play like in his house all the time. We'd written countless songs and played to nobody in his basement. And then we started a band freshman year of high school, played a show for like our winter formal, and then kind of just let it rest. Started another band, just played a couple things, not a ton of stuff. I did a bunch of solo stuff, and then I was with a band right before I met these guys, and two of them were just super busy all the time and weren't able to like get out and play shows. So my first show that I played on stage with like a full band in front of like a paying audience was with these guys last June. So it was June 8th at the Down Under in Omaha, which is just a pretty small it's a pretty small little club in Omaha, but it
was in May. It was a week after the tornado.
It was May
of 24, right?
Oh, May 8th. Yes,
Yeah.
May 8th. I knew it was the 8th. Yeah, because it was exactly a week after.
Mm-hmm.
And no, it wasn't
May
8th.
3rd.
May 3rd.
Oh yeah, you're right.
June 8th
yeah.
was a different show.
June 8th
Yeah,
was the
yeah,
waiting
yeah,
room
yeah.
show.
June
yeah.
8th was our. It's funny. We ran under. So since it was my first like big show in front of a paying audience, I had been out, and the week before, which we can get into it later if you want, but the week before I had like literally lost everything in my life. Like my house got hit by an EF4 tornado while I was inside. I got thrown from the house, got buried in rubble. I got all messed up. So, but we already had that show booked, and I really wanted to play it. So we ran under
A pseudonym.
We ran under a pseudonym called No Mountain.
Nice.
But our first public figure show was June 8th. So yes, that was May 3rd.
Yeah.
And I just was, after that first show, I remember thinking like, oh, this is definitely what I was meant to do. This is what I'm supposed to be doing right now. Like, obviously, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. So I would say my moment, I know this is, welcome to me. I am the king of long-winded answers. But my moment of like really clicking and being like, this is for me for sure was the No Mountain show at the Down Under.
Awesome. And no worries about long-winded answers. That's, interviewers love that crap.
They usually like, oh, I've heard this so many times. They're sick of it. But.
Well, I mean, it's funny because I was about to ask you when you were done that you and your brother got sucked out of your home by a tornado, and
yes.
You talked about it already. So I didn't realize that was literally like right before your first gig. So you had all the emotions
before.
Yeah. A sort of meme funny line that we tell people is, so we were talking to him minutes before he went home, and I was one of the first people he texted and called afterwards, and we went to the hospital, and we were in the hospital with him 20-30 minutes later, and we walk literally into his room. He turns to us, and before we can even ask, are you okay? What do you need? What can we do? What's next? He turns to us and he's like, guys, I'm pretty sure we can still play the show.
Amazing.
Even though like I
Yeah.
had seen that all of our equipment was
Destroyed.
Yeah.
or like under, because everything that wasn't sucked out of the basement was
Flood.
in about a foot of water. But somehow RJ was able to get, fun fact about electronics, if there's not power going through them, if you get them dried out, they're pretty much fine. And we were able to get everything dried out. RJ's got a picture of his all his pedal board like underwater.
Are you okay?
I'm sorry, my brother is
Can you
playing.
go
You're fine.
Yeah,
You're fine.
absolutely.
Don't worry about it. Throw the smack down. So while he's gone, the rest of you can talk now. I'm just kidding. What happened? Did something actually happen that made you put in on your website, hydrate before you come to our show?
No, I think that
No.
I think that the overarching philosophy there is simply that when we were forming the band at the current lineup, we sat down and we were like, what are some of the things that we care about providing to our audience, right? One of them was this idea that our recorded music as an art form is different from the product we're selling when we sell like tickets to an event, right? And we want those to be different experiences. We want our live shows to be the most almost a pun, the most whirlwind type of party. We want people to feel like they're losing their sense of identity in the crowd because of how much fun they're having with other people, right? Like that is what we want out of people. And I don't want some schmuck in the back to lock his knees and pass out because he's not hydrated. Like that's all.
Well, actually, that's the deep answer. But where that came from is I was watching his name's Damian Keys.
Oh,
He
yeah.
does a lot of music marketing videos on YouTube. And he was like, for your bio, make it fun, make people experience FOMO, have that sense of missing out on your show. And so that was just a way to emphasize like, oh, we put a lot of energy on our stage. Like our whole thing is just one big energy bomb. So hydrate before you come. We don't want you passing out.
Honestly, it caught my eye, and I was like, that's actually really a good idea. I mean, both in reality and a good idea from like marketing.
Water is always a good idea.
Right?
I'm just
Oh,
saying.
we're big
Drinking
water boys.
Yeah,
over
we
here.
love water.
So, Roger, I'm going to stick with you for one more question before moving
Go
on
for it. Yeah.
to other victims. By the way, stick around. We're going to be seeing a music video for a song called Lindy at the end of this interview, so stick around for that. And Roger, I got to ask, is your wife sick of hearing Lindy yet?
No, she loves it. She likes that it exists. At first I was a little nervous because she's not I wouldn't say she's shy, but she's not as outgoing as I am. And I was a little nervous originally because I was writing the song and it only made sense to just name it Lindy. And I kept it and I talked to her and she's like, oh no, that's fine. I like that. That's sweet. And it's kind of fun. When she meets people like through fans and stuff, if they ever meet her, they're like, oh, you're Lindy, like the Lindy. And she thinks it's fun. So no, she's not sick of it. And she's our one of our biggest promoters within. She is always blowing up anytime that we have a song coming out, she's in her work group chat. John and I actually just started working at the same place as she has, and everybody already knows us, and they're like, oh yeah, we know all about every time you guys have got something coming out, Lindy's in the group chat and she's doing all this. So she likes being a part of it, and that's huge for me because you never know if the person that you are going to spend your life with is going to think the stuff you do is cool.
Yeah.
And, and there's a chance that maybe down the road she doesn't, but right now she likes it. She thinks it's fun. And I think she likes the song. I don't want to speak for her, but I think she does.
Awesome. John, speaking of John,
John.
Marhaba. Ever use your Arabic skills recruiting travel nurses?
Did I ever use them recruiting travel nurses? No, I didn't when I was doing that. There was one guy one time from Saudi Arabia who I spoke a little bit with on the phone, and he had the same reaction that most people do when they speak Arabic with me, although my skills are a little bit rusty. I learned a form of Arabic that is similar. The fastest way for me to explain it would be to imagine me speaking Middle English sentences to you. You understand me, but I'm definitely a weirdo and you're not responding in kind. You know what I mean?
Right. Same. It'd be the same with me.
Yeah. So it's called Modern Standard Arabic. It's the language of the Quran, and it's what they use in like the news and in politics. So it's not as effective for speaking as you'd think, though you did give a pretty good rendition of Marhaban.
old girlfriend, but thanks. Shukra. I know that, and I know assalamu alaikum.
Yeah.
That's it.
Sure.
Uh,
Walaikum.
so sticking with you, one more question. Can you go ahead and kind of compare and contrast the Pensacola scene versus the Omaha scene?
Sure. So one of the reasons I chose to stay in Omaha after I got out of the Air Force, just aside from the fact that the world shut down and I probably couldn't have left if I wanted to, because I got out of the Air Force just before COVID hit, like the week before COVID hit, like March 4th or something.
Oh, wow.
Comparing and contrasting the two scenes, Pensacola is significantly less. It's significantly more DIY. In Omaha, there is a real sense of community. Everybody feels like they're helping each other. And that's not to say that doesn't exist in Pensacola, but it is to say that in Pensacola from, and it's been 13 years since I've lived there, but from the pieces that I participated in, it was very like, you've got to make it happen yourself. You can't really necessarily lean on other people. I've heard through contacts in the scene that it's sort of changed since then, that it's a little better in that regard, that there's more sense of community. But I chose to stay in Omaha because, I don't know, man, there's so much love in this scene and there's so much talent in this scene. At the time, I was in a heavier band with RJ called Chasing Chance. And I wanted to stay for that. It seemed like it was going somewhere. Ended up not going somewhere, but now we're in public figure, and that's definitely going somewhere.
Yeah, it is.
So, one of the other big things that I think, and this may be just a byproduct of the fact that at the time I was 17 trying to sell tickets versus in my 20s with friends who have the means to go to shows, but I found significantly more success in sort of rallying a fan base here in Omaha. Many of my friends, I love them to death every single time they show up to support me and my kooky endeavors and my art, and then they end up falling in love with the bands that I'm a part of. So I don't know, I've made so many friends and I love this scene a lot. Definitely not going to be like 311 and pretend like we didn't come up here.
Yeah. So make sure you stick around. We're going to be seeing that music video for Lindy, which is after Roger's wife, at the end of the interview. Pivoting away from the personal questions, don't worry, Dolan and RJ, I haven't forgotten about you. But pivoting back to kind of a more usual interview question, I want to talk about, as public figure performing, do you have a favorite show memory? Like one of those things went way off the rails, or you checked off a bunch of your rock star wish list moment, or somebody went.
We probably all have the same one.
Yeah.
We were just, so we had received an email from the city of Cheyenne, Wyoming. Am I on the right line?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Asking us if we would like to open for Boys Like Girls in their Fridays Plaza. Yeah, which is huge because we all grew up at the time that Boys Like Girls was very popular. We listened to a lot of that. I was a pretty good fan.
You couldn't not listen.
You could not
listen.
listen.
You went to the grocery store and Great Escape was playing.
So we, of course, John calls me at work and he's like, "Hey, the person from Cheyenne, they need to know if we can book this show." And he's like, "Can you get those days off?" And he's like, "We're opening for Boys Like Girls." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, dude, send it. Yeah, I don't care, dude. I'll call out. I don't care." So we got that off.
What job?
Show really excited to get it all prepped. We had like a little a stop at this brewery on the way down there. We played there, stop on the way back. But that was our main thing. We had all the wives going with us. It was going to be a whole real fun thing. We show up that day. It was supposed to rain, so we were a little, and it was outdoors. So we were a little nervous. Well, I was a little more nervous than everybody else for obvious reasons, and it did end up storming like pretty good. But then that storm passed. We went on, and right before we went on, I was like, I just hope that there's not a second wave, but it looks okay right now. And we started playing, and it was awesome. What I would say the really great moment was we were up there, and we all at some point had like looked at each other and been like, dude, and there's thousands of people out in front of us, and like with an S, and that has not happened. That we haven't had plural thousands in front of us all ready to hear us play before.
That's the dream.
It is the dream. We each at one point said, yeah, this, like, I want to do this, like, all the time. And we get about 3/4 of the way through our set, and I see just a black sky coming towards us, and nobody seems worried about it. And, in my head, these guys have kind of seen me start to process it better, but especially like last year, earlier this spring, like I have a lot of anxiety around weather and storms, and to the point where last year during practices, they were like, hey, like, we're going to need to work on this. And I was like, yes, I know, because there's a situation, we're playing an outdoor show, it starts to storm, I need to be able to stay calm under pressure. And because there were times I'd shut down completely. We'd be talking in conversations, and it'd be like a storm coming in, and I wouldn't even be able to participate. But I see this storm coming in, and I remember thinking to myself, I can't let this affect anything that's going on right now, because this is that chance we've been waiting for. This is that shot. And so I just kind of thought, like, fuck it, here we go. And the people gave that energy back, and it was so cool, because it started raining at first, just light rain, and then really heavy rain, and then tiny pebbles of hail, and then huge hail.
Wow.
And they were moving.
And they didn't move until the huge hail came out, and then just people started dispersing a little bit. But there was probably 1,000, 1,500, maybe even 2,000 people
that just stayed.
They just stayed
until we got drug off stage.
Yeah, I saw one of the stage guys come up from the side, and he's like,
lightning.
You gotta go, lightning.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, all right, guys, thanks. We're getting pulled off, like, get the shelter, all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But it was so cool, because we were up there and we were playing. And when you're the out of town band, it takes sometimes a couple songs to gain their trust, to let them know, like, hey, it's okay if I let loose. These guys aren't gonna like come out of left field and play a horrible song, and I won't be able to jam out and I'll feel dumb. You have to warm them up. So we had just got them nice and ready to accept it, and they were partying with us. And then that rain came, and it wasn't like light. It was torrential downpour, like sideways.
Yeah.
It was like 40-mile-an-hour winds sideways. All of our shit just got soaked. We were soaked. Everybody was out there was soaked, but there wasn't like a single person who was upset about it.
Yeah.
It was so cool that we were all out there on a show day. And everybody there was there for a show. We were there for a show. And
the rail riders didn't move at all.
They didn't budge.
They
didn't budge.
No.
And we hadn't seen that yet. And so that was one of those like first like rock and roll moments.
I would say it was like a combination of three things that sort of all happened at the same time. The first was we saw them buy into the show, start clapping, singing along 2 songs in. We did the Whoa section of Lindy. I popped an ear out, and we heard them sing it back to us. This is a crowd of people who's never heard our music before.
Very cool.
Singing back to us, and they're bought in. That was the first thing. The second thing, and this is a pride thing for Roger, from us to Roger, at least from me to Roger, was him not reacting when things started to look kind of rough. And the third was the audience had loved us so much that even when the weather had turned truly foul, they were moshing in the middle of this. We do a heavy cover of a song by Taylor Swift called I Knew You Were Trouble. We reached the breakdown. They just started moshing, and the hail's coming down, and they're moshing like this instead. Just like trying
because
to.
it hurt. I mean, they got to almost like quarter-size hail for like 30 seconds.
That's what I would really sort of crystallize it in. It was that moment.
It was, but we knew. I mean, as soon as we got off stage, we were kind of bummed that we got cut, because we got cut like 4 songs short. We ended up, after the lightning delay, being able to come on, play our closer, all that kind of stuff. But we were a little bummed that we got cut short. But at the same time, we're like, nobody's going to forget this show. Like, we'll never forget this show. Nobody else.
If you were out there that night, day, what time was it?
It was like 7 o'clock.
Time isn't real. Birds aren't real either.
Oh yeah, we're supposed to play.
Government's drones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you were out there, if you hear this, we love you. Thanks for being there and sharing that with us.
Yeah, that was a pretty cool moment.
That's awesome. I mean, yeah, that I can't top that. That's I've had some pretty cool like rockstar wish list moments, but
That was our iris,
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, good luck beating that, So
Oh, we'll try our very, very
of
best.
course you will. Any plans for a solo album from Rogan?
We could almost do it, dude. I bet if we started, he could go right now, but we don't want to ruin the audio on this thing by just making it super
Right.
loud. But he just likes to he only really howls at music.
Rogan's a dog, by the way, folks.
Correct. Yes. Rogan is the dog. It's funny. He's old. He's 11 years old. He's almost 12. He's a pit bull boxer mix. Don't tell my landlord. And he just likes to howl. What's funny is he howls mainly to drums. He loves the drums. And I don't think that he hates it. Like at first we were like, I can't tell if he likes doing this or doesn't like to do it. But like if we're playing music and he's upstairs, if he hears music, he'll come downstairs to sit and howl to it. Like if I'm singing, he'll come over, or if I'm playing guitar, he'll come find me
And start howling.
to sit and howl with me.
Aw.
I mean, he kind of made his own spot in the band. That's why he's our barking vocalist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Very cool. I just saw that. I was like, I gotta ask. Dolan, actually, don't forget, stick around for that music video, Lindy. Stick around. You're gonna like it. Dolan,
Yeah.
first, congrats on the new job with Aligned Management, sir.
Hey, thank you.
No worries. Do they know about your love of the band Cake yet?
Oh, that's a deep pull. Everybody knows about my love for the band Cake. Jeez. What do you want to know about it?
No, it honestly just being silly.
I love Cake. I bought a CD prolonging the magic at a Hastings store, like bookstore, music store.
Dude, Hastings used to be the spot.
Yeah, right. Oh,
I miss Hastings.
it's so cool. There was one there where I grew up in Wyoming actually, and they were doing like $2 CDs or $3 CDs or whatever, and I was just pulling random ones that I thought it was funny because it just Cake across the album cover and then a pig, and I was like, okay, I gotta see what this is. And since that day, I guess it was the summer going into my freshman year of high school, I listened to Prolonging the Magic front to back, I don't know, probably 1 million times, and just
Million's
kind
big
of
number,
expanded.
Dolan.
Yeah, it was a big
Yeah, I don't
You
know.
sure you want to put that on the record?
Yeah,
Dolan?
you know what? I would 1 million times. I could sing it front to back. It's
Millions of thousands.
and
Just to put things in perspective, if you listen to it once a day for 100 years, that would be 36,500 times.
oh great.
It's
Cool.
a thousand still.
Yeah, so I listen to it 1,000 times a day for
1,000 days.
On the next counting lesson.
Dolan, we've told you 1 million times, don't exaggerate. So,
Yeah.
uh,
Usually, hold
I
up.
see what you.
That's John.
yeah, he's the exaggerator.
so
Anyway,
So Dolan, I gotta know, were you actually drunk filming your Atlas MedStaff brand specialist bio video?
Was I drunk
You-
filming it?
Yeah, because they asked you and you said no.
Oh yeah, that's right. That is such an old video. Oh man, I was not, but I did a beer podcast for a long time when I worked there, craft beer podcast that I absolutely loved. So there is a chance that I did have a couple drinks because we started recording that podcast sometimes at 9 a.m.
Oi, Gaval. No, thank you. I used to have a podcast with a good buddy of mine. We used to do whiskey reviews, and then that grew into just talking about all sorts of crap for an hour. And it was 2 brains, 1 bottle. And I loved it. Episodes are on the channel. And unfortunately, he moved. He's in Kansas. I'm in Pacific Northwest. Before that, I was in Vegas, and we were doing it virtually and like saying, "I brought this whiskey. I brought this whiskey." I'm so proud of him. He's actually, I think, coming on a year sober now. So that podcast that kind of had to die. like when you start with whiskey, you're like, "Hey, I can't really be drinking anymore." And so yeah. But think about you, Sean. Love you.
Love you,
Speaking
Sean.
of Sean,
Keep it up.
I love the Sean Evans style Hot Ones deep cut questions.
Yeah,
or
these are
like
pretty good,
Nardwar
man.
style.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That is. I have been called the next Nardwar, but I don't accost people.
What do you have deep on this guy?
RJ, last but not least,
Yes.
can you compare and contrast the Hanyaks versus Public Figure?
Oh, Hanyaks, man.
Oh, dude, that was the first band I ever played with live. So I give those guys just the water myself. I give those guys props, especially Monty because he's the originator of the Hanyaks, for getting my feet wet with playing live music and kind of getting me into live music and giving me that initial love for live music. I would say they're a little bit more alternative, like 90s grunge alternative, whereas this is a lot more pop punk. I had fun in both bands. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard. It's just a different era of my musical playing, I guess.
All right.
Well, I personally owe the Hanyaks a thanks because that's how I met
That's
him.
how I haven't. Yeah,
that's how I met RJ.
John.
That's how I met RJ as well.
Yeah.
So I met. No, I'm kidding.
John came and tried out for the Hanyaks, and that's how I met John. And I was just thinking, like, damn, he's a good drummer. And the next thing I knew, I'm playing with John,
There you go.
and I'm stuck to him now.
Oh,
All right.
God.
They're a package deal.
All right. Last deep dive question here. Last personal question. As a fitness director for Fitness Works, do you punish the band with burpees?
Man, I need to update my stuff. That's a job from a while ago.
Yeah.
No, I run a CrossFit gym now, and I try to give them tips and pointers, but none of them listen to me. So
It's not that we don't listen. It's
He
that-
offers free consultation to us, and we're like, eh.
Yeah.
no, but except he doesn't really. He's like, you can ask questions, but if they're like hard questions, or if you need like a program, like come see me at work, and I'll
come
set you
pay
up a
me.
plan.
Pay me, sucker.
Artist's like, I got a family to feed, man. What are you talking about? I can't be giving away good advice, you know. But no, he is the guy that keeps us, you know. When we go out of town, he likes to make sure if we're staying somewhere that he can get to a gym, and then he's gonna call us losers because we don't go to the gym also. No, but it's good because you need somebody to be like, hey, did you go to the fucking gym today?
Able to, we're all getting older, so I want to still be able to bring energy on stage, and best way to do that,
Stay in shape.
Every group of friends needs the guy who's very health conscious. Yeah, we're friends.
Yeah, no, it's the hardest exercise is actually going out the front door.
Yeah,
it really is. And I personally am working on a couple weeks now of doing it from home, which is so much harder for some reason.
It is, yeah.
But just reached the point where gym I was going to, I was not happy anymore. Like I was aggro before I even got there, and then when I was done, and it had nothing to do with like, my workouts. It had to do with the people that were there. And the way that they, the way they weren't following the rules and things like that. And eventually I was just like, you know what, I'm going to stop paying for this. I have a kettlebell at home. I have floor space. I have, swords and things to swing around. I got stuff I can do, and I have feet, and a road. But
it doesn't have to be complicated. People try to overcomplicate it. Like, what should I do? I'm like, just go move. Like, it doesn't have to be that hard.
Let me tell you, the humbling. I just recently had this a week, like on Monday or Tuesday, where I hadn't done push-ups in forever. 2. It took everything for 2 wide.
Good form push-ups.
Not even good. I was just like, what happened, man? I used to crank out 20 just to be like, I'm bored. 20 push-ups, and working out is a lot like practicing your music. The ones that are really good at it just never stopped. It isn't that they're so much better than you. Like that old guy in the gym who's lifting more than you, he just never stopped. And he just slowly got a little stronger until he's curling 50s and you're sitting there struggling with 20s. So
I try to tell that to a lot of the younger kids I see. I'm like, especially
youngins,
college or whatever. I'm like, you gotta like keep going. It's so much easier to
Right.
maintain it and lose it and do it again.
And let's not even get started on the whole rabbit hole that is ear protection. So,
Oh God, yeah.
wear your
We're
earplugs.
actually we're all fairly reasonable at that type of thing
Yeah,
too.
I-
I just keep my in-ears in.
Oh yeah, we
My
use a whole
ears.
in-ear system, which has helped
Tremendously.
considerably.
Yeah.
You can just turn it. Yeah, once you're, I don't even know how people run with wedge monitors sometimes. You know, especially these guys who are playing like punk rock and stuff, where they have a lot of like mid and high end in their guitars, and they're like turn it up, and these wedges are just blasting so loud. I'm like, it's
Yeah.
It's like a rite of passage for some of those guys who are like, oh yeah, I got tendinitis. Like, what? You were-
That's
yeah, you're here. Wait till you're like
Put some
70 and you
hearing
can't
pro
sleep.
in.
Yeah.
Come on, dude.
Yeah. Every time you're hearing that high pitched tinnitus noise in your ear, that's little hairs inside your ear dying, and that
Yeah,
you will never hear
permanent
that note again.
Yeah, that's permanent damage.
Yep. All right.
Growing up, my dad was a mechanic, and he had tinnitus by the time he was like 30. So he's had severe like hearing damage his whole life. So it was always pounded into us that you've got to always wear hearing protection, all this kind of stuff. And when I was a teenager, I was like, I don't need to do that. And so I'd listen to my earbuds really loud and stuff. But
Right.
then, you know, you learn that that's just you being young and dumb and stupid. Just crank it down a little bit. I keep earplugs on my keys at all. They're like the filter earplugs, so it just like brings the volume down. It doesn't muffle it, and they're the best investment that I've ever made, dude. They're great.
Yep. Well, with that depressing news, we're going to finish the interview. So thank you very much for watching. Thanks, guys, for being on the channel. Stick around. We're going to see that music video for Lindy, and we'll catch you in the outro. In the meantime, we'll temporarily say goodbye, and we'll see you in a minute.
Right before we met, I said I'm never slowing down again. Never getting caught in something, only to want out of it. I'm sticking to my guns, I've had my fun and I'll move on. With a swipe I felt my belt add up its notches, and I never knew how the hell I ended up so cautious. But if I fed your flame with my pain, I swear to God I'd wreck it. And ever since I come around, I never thought I'd get this far. Falling over in the crowd, just to wind up in your car. Staying out to your mother calls, asking when you coming home. Little did we know that we would go and make our road.
I want to thank Public Figure for coming on the channel. It was a great interview and an awesome music video. If you want to know more about them, hit those social media links down below and tell them Room 6 sent you if you see them at a show. In the meantime, if you want to see more videos like this, please click up here. If you'd like to subscribe, click over there. I love you if you ring the bell, but whatever. And if you want to hear my own music, click over there. Remember to be amazing, and we'll see you next time on Room 6. Say goodbye, guys.
See
Thanks,
y'all.
bye.
Thanks again for having us.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. There's always one.